Yeah, hello. Yeah, man. All right, excellent. Uh,
Hello, my friends. How you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Back to Basics Quarterly Workshop, the first in the series. And for those who weren't in the Zoom room, then you missed out on something. You know, Michael Forsyth is the one person you can depend on to break the ice even when the sun is in the sky. So thank you so much, Michael and the team, and all those who are in class at this time. Happy to know that you are here with us. We welcome our listeners on NCUFM 91.1, 91.3, and 91.5, and also those on YouTube at this time, and again to those who registered and are in our Zoom room. The goal of the Back to Basics workshop is to communicate the fundamental ways to develop and maintain a healthy lifestyle. And a part of developing a healthy lifestyle has to do with cultivating healthy financial practices. And this is something that I will have to admit that some of the things I'm learning now, I wish I knew from way back when. But here's our opportunity. For me personally, I believe that this is the start of a conversation that should happen in every home, in every school, in every church. We start the conversation, and we'd love to see where you take it from here. What are some of the challenges that you have financially? What are some of the things about, financial wellness that you battle with? What do you expect to learn today? Yes, and you may go ahead and put those in the chat, because we're here to bring you some wonderful and useful information. We have a mental health nurse practitioner, Nurse Nicola Williams, who will be presenting later on to talk about the link between financial wellness and mental health, mental wellness, right? We have economist Dr. Andre Horton, who will also be sharing with us. And of course, we have financial advisor Granville Knight. So we look forward to a wonderful evening together. You may ask yourself, wow, sounds like we don't even have enough time to deal with the matter. Well, let me tell you something. This is not expected to answer all your questions. We're not expecting to answer all your questions today or to give you all. As a matter of fact, if we did this every day for 1 year, you would still have questions, right? So we want to say thanks to our sponsors, the Ministry of Labor and Social Security, Social Pension Program, Caring for Our Elderly, the PATH program, Advancing Your Family, Developing Jamaica. We say thanks also to GK, the Trusted Advisor, and you will hear more about GK, the Trusted Advisor, in a bit. We have some giveaways as we go along, and we will tell you more about that when the time is right. And at the end, for those who registered, we have your certificate of participation. So stay with us. There's a lot to learn. Dr. Granville Knight sits amongst the top 3% of financial advisors worldwide. This highly coveted spot was awarded to him in 2022 by the $1 Million Roundtable, MDRT. This is a global independent association of the world's leading life insurance and financial services professionals from more than 500 companies in 70 nations and territories. Mr. Knight enjoys leadership and public speaking. These two gifts have been the primary tools for creating impact on the lives of others, both in his educational pursuits and various careers. Recently, he released the Go for Goals 2023 Financial Planner. The idea was to create an easy-to-use financial tool that will help you solve the complexities within your finances. To elaborate on just how we can set financial goals, diversify our financial portfolio, and foster wealth creation is Mr. Granville Knight. And we're excited to have such a decorated presenter. Welcome, Mr. Knight.
The trusted advisor. And I want to say thank you so much to NCU-FM for having me here today. It's an absolute pleasure to be a part of the Back to Basic workshop. And of course, today I'll be sharing a few financial tips to help you, ensure the early success just as good as a heavenly success. All right? So yeah, thank you. Let's go.
All right. So I think one of the best places to start is, what are some of the things we should consider when it comes to setting financial goals?
All right. What should we consider when setting financial goals? First of all, we don't necessarily set financial goals. We set goals which have financial requirements. So you don't say you want to save $10,000. You probably say that, you know what, I need to buy a house or buy a car. And because of that, you decide that, okay, the amount that I need to save is 100,000. So when you're setting financial goals, there are several things that you need to desire. One, what is the desire itself? What is it that I hope to achieve? Two, what are the financial requirements? What is expected of me? And then three, can the budget maintain it? Because if the budget can't maintain it, then we know we need to do several things. Either one, raise our income, which means we'll probably need to get a little side hustle or one of those things. But those are pretty much the four key things when it comes on to approaching financial goals.
Okay. We've heard the term SMART goals. But how would you say that SMART goals align with setting financial goals? So how does SMART goal setting align with setting financial goals?
Now, all goals must be SMART. Now, as I said to you before, there's no difference between your financial goals and your personal goals, because all your personal goals, they have a financial requirement. So when we look at our goals, some key things that we want to talk about, we want to ensure that they are SMART, which means that they are specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. Specific. Don't say, oh, I want for rich. If you say, no, I want for rich like Joe with 300 cattle, right? You have to put a numeric value to whatever the financial goal is. Measurable. You have to ensure, say, it's something that can be measured, like Christ. Christ is a measure of our righteousness. So every time we want to measure how righteous we are, we go against Christ, right? Measurable. And then, of course, we want to ensure that it is attainable. Now, this is a very iffy thing, because some goals are really achievable and some are really not achievable. But you don't want to put any limitations on a person. Therefore, we have to ensure so the goal itself is really properly ventilated, investigated, and so once that is done, say, all right, then this is definitely attainable. The next thing, you want to ensure that it is realistic. Don't say, oh, you want to live to age 200 when you know she's current 10, most 100. So you have to ensure that the goal is realistic. It's not something that is far-fetched. And the next thing now is that it's time-bound, which is very important. The difference between a goal and a dream is that a goal has a timeline. A vision, dreams, those things have no timeline. Those just wishful thinking. We don't wish around here. We set real goals. Christ asks us to be realistic. Don't just say X, Y, Z. Set some time to it. Jesus do that too, But we're not going to talk about that today. We're here to talk about money.
Okay. All right. Now, there's goal setting and then there's wealth creation. How does one go about creating wealth?
Wealth creation has to be one of the most talked about topic in the financial realm. Everybody wants to be wealthy. Everybody wants to be materialistically well off. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. A matter of fact, in Ecclesiastes, God says, money answereth all things. So there must be a point at which we try to attain a certain level of wealth creation and wealth stability. Now, just to simplify that, just as how salvation is a process, there is justification and then sanctification. Likewise, with wealth building, there's an actual process. There is something called the wealth building pyramid. Not a pyramid scheme, but a wealth building pyramid, which means that you start first with your base of setting your wealth foundation. No other foundation can any other man lay than that which has been laid, which is who? Christ Jesus. Then upon that, now you have your wealth accumulation, then your wealth preservation, and your wealth distribution. So let's quickly go through each stage. Your wealth foundation has to do with the things that protect your wealth, such as your emergency fund, right? Your will, and all your different types of insurance: life, critical, health, home, car. because these things protect those things above, just like the Christian life. Whether you live or die in Christ, you are covered. So Christ is your eternal salvation. Hence, Christ is our foundation of our faith. On that faith, whether you build straw, gold, whatever it is, of course you know your Bible, but on that now, we have a wealth accumulation, which is pretty much our savings and our investments. Now, we don't have houses and cars and those things in the wealth accumulation. Reason being is that your savings and your investment represent those things, because you save and invest to do what? To spend and acquire. All right? So that is that. Then now, on top of that, you have your wealth preservation. The wealth preservation, you want to ensure that your wealth continues. So you do the necessary things to maintain, you have other types of insurance, your pension funds, all of those things. Now on the final tier, which is the wealth distribution, because you're not here to stay forever. And the righteous man regarded the life of his beast, and not only his beast, but his children's children. So you want to talk about how it is that you're going to distribute your wealth. Once again, you have key things such as your will, your pension, your insurance. All those things now form part of the wealth distribution. Now, how you build your wealth building pyramid is going to be very specific, and of course, I advise you to reach out to a trusted or the trusted financial advisor.
Mm-hmm. I know some people believe in finding something that works and just put everything into it, but we're advised that the best way to go is to diversify our portfolio. How does one go about doing that? What are the steps?
Diversification in your financial portfolio is one of the most simplest things to do. It's all about risk management. Risk management has to do with ensuring that your money is not completely lost. Not even your money, but Jesus' money, your stores. So you have to ensure that you not only go about high risk investment, but you ensure that there are some investments that are moderate in terms of returns and the principal is protected. But proper diversification ensures that your money works best for you based upon your stage of life. For example, someone who is in their 20s to 30s and 40s, they will take a more aggressive approach. So diversification for them means that most of their money will be invested into riskier instruments with more higher possibility of returns, versus someone who is in their late 50s and 60s who are retiring. Yes, they still have high risk investments in their portfolio, but most of their money is held into conservative instruments. Why? Because they are now in their low income period years, and of course, you know, they're not going to work, so they're going to have less time to recover the funds. So diversification is a very interesting topic which must be taken into consideration. In considering diversification, we also must consider the individual themselves, because financial planning is all about each person. So there's no general rule when it comes down to diversification. It comes to the individual, what their preferences are, and then know how to balance the investment portfolio, the financial portfolio, to ensure that the goals that you have set are attained.
All right. Now, I have in my hand a book, more than just a book. It's a financial planner. It deals with goal setting, creating budgets, diversifying portfolio, and building wealth. I see within this, I'm seeing a monthly budget and all that. It's called Go for Goals Financial Planner. Share with us a little bit about this. How did you go about this? Where did the idea come from for this, and how can it help us?
Go for goals. So one thing I've recognized when it comes down to financial planning is that finance is all about goals. It's nothing else but goals. That's it. So I realized that clients really had no instrument to fully document what their financials are and combine those with their goals themselves, and hence the financial planner was born. The Go for Goals financial planner was born. So the idea behind the financial planner is to ensure that the goals are measured and the finances are taken into consideration, so that the client is able to budget properly, to also track their goals, to track their debt, their different financial goals, maybe debt reduction, investment, savings, life insurance, the whole work. So this is probably the most comprehensive instrument that I've ever created. Okay, it's the only instrument I've ever created. So therefore it is the most comprehensive, or least comprehensive. But to go with most comprehensive. All right. If you have not gotten your copy, we have a few copies to give away. If you have not gotten your copy, well, don't worry, I still have a few remaining, and it's never too late to start your financial planning.
All right, thank you so much. And the importance of keeping track of your financial goals, though, we want to underscore that before we complete this segment.
Keeping track of your financial goals is probably the biggest thing that you need to do. How you gonna know if you're gonna succeed? You must measure the thing, you know. If you're not keep track, how you gonna measure the thing? Even Jesus himself, as big as Jesus be, as big as God be, him keep record. He has the book of life and him have the book of all the little things that when me and you do, but we're not supposed to do, but we leave it on Jesus. So we're good to go. So there's a book of records where he will reveal every single thing because he wants to ensure that he is on point when he said that you deserve eternal life, you deserve a big mansion over there, so you deserve a crown with 465 jewels, and the whole works. So you want to ensure for yourselves that you're actually going where you're supposed to go. And one of the key things that I've recognized is that sometimes I become so discouraged. I feel like me not achieve nothing in life. I feel like me the worst of worst. Sometimes the worst financial advisor. And then I look at my goals and I say, oh, when I'm actually on target, man, then why do I feel so despondent? And I realize that I'm still one of the top financial advisors. Just to see, I'm like, oh, then why do I feel like the worst of all persons? And so it is important for us to keep record, to keep tracking our own successes. And it's like that in our spiritual lives as well. We must keep track of the goodness of God. You know, Ellen G. White make a statement. She says that, why do we gather the thorns, gather the lilies, gather the lilacs, gather the roses, gather the pleasant experience? And so you have to gather the little facts pertaining to your goals so you know that you're on your way to living the life, the full life that Jesus Christ came to ensure that we live.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And I love the whole idea of the reminder, first of all, that we need to keep records. We need to set goals. We need to create budgets. Very, very important. We need to diversify our portfolio. We have to think about wealth creation and wealth distribution. Mr. Knight, thank you so much. We're just not sure. Is there anything you want to say before you go?
So I really just wanted to say thank you so much for having me here today. I do hope that our little chit chat was really informative and that you were able to do some powerful things for yourselves and for Christ. Remember, you know, Christ says we are here to shine our light, and if you don't pursue anything, then you won't inspire others to pursue. And Christ says, occupy till I come. And part of occupying is to ensure that we actually have goals to work towards. Remember, you know, it's a pursuit of a better life that our character is developed. The challenges will come. If you don't want nothing, there's nothing Jesus can do for you. Just remember that. So, while I vacate, I wish you all the best. Godspeed. Every blessing.
Thank you so much. Yes, GK, a trusted advisor, Mr. Granville Knight. And we want to remind you that you are live with us this evening. It's the Back to Basics Quarterly Workshop. And this is the first in the series. There are more to come for the rest of the year. Stay with us.
There are some things that we do with our finances that are just tragic. So, you want to create generational wealth, and you preach generational wealth every single day, but don't want to buy life insurance? Tragic! So, you want to get rich, but don't want to invest? Tragic. So you have an agent advisor that you haven't heard from since you bought your life insurance policy. It has been 2 years, 6 months. Tragic. So you want to create financial success, and GK, the trusted advisor, is not your financial advisor? Tragic. End the tragedy in your finances today. DM, call, or text for your free 30-minute consultation. I am Granville Knight, the trusted advisor. And when the trusted advisor is your financial advisor, success is yours.
Specializing in mental health care since 2011 is our next presenter, Nurse Nicola Williams. As a mental health psychiatric nurse practitioner, she is oftentimes leading the charge with clients at all levels of the developmental stages with psychiatric and basic nursing care and education. Nurse Williams has been awarded for outstanding achievement in the areas of health education and promotion, home visits and crisis intervention at the Southern Regional Health Authority. She stands firmly on the philosophy, if I can help somebody as I pass this life, then my living shall not be in vain. If I can help that person to find a meaning and a purpose for their life, then I have achieved greatness. Helping us understand the link between money and mental health is our guest, Nurse Nicola Williams. All right. Well, we've got Nurse Nicola Williams with us, and it's the Back to Basics quarterly workshop, the wellness workshop. And I know some people probably would be wondering, what is it that we're talking about mental health when it's about finances? But Nurse Williams is here with us, and she is going to be able to break that down in a little bit. But Nurse, first of all, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. All right. Let's talk a little bit about your experience in the field.
My experience in the field of mental health has been a rewarding one over the years. I joined this area from 2011 until present. And of course, we are caring for those who are suffering from mental health problems, and they are our hearts. We take care of every aspect of those persons who are suffering mental health conditions. And personally, I am happy to do that. It didn't call me. I sort of pulled myself into caring for those who are suffering, because there are challenges that they face on a regular basis, nationally, internationally, and globally. They face mental health challenges that some persons may be scared to take care of these persons, but I'm happy to say we at the Mental Department of Manchester Health, we're happy to care for persons suffering from mental health. That's been a rewarding one.
Thank you so much. And folks, I want you to know that if you are there wondering, why is it that some things, you're finding so difficult to handle, and you never thought about it before, your state of your mental state is probably linked to what is happening financially. Nurse, over to you.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone in Radio Land, listening to Back to Basics workshop. I am happy to speak to you this afternoon on mental health and how money affects our mental health. And we would have asked ourselves the question, how does this mental health play a part in money? And money plays a part in mental health. But there's a big problem when it comes to mental health and money. It's a relationship, one with many contributing factors that one might feel totally out of control. And researchers significantly has influenced this way forward. Money shapes our sense of morality. Those who have nothing might adopt an orthodox means of survival, and we can see this in our country today. Those who have little are more empathetic to others of the same social class. Those who have plenty are less humble and more entitled. Generally speaking, there are difficulties that arise when someone spends more money than they earn, or when they make bad financial decisions, and we can all attest to that. There are so many of us that sometimes make bad financial decisions when it comes to money. And I'm here to help us understand, one, how to cope, some of the causes of our mental distress as it relates to money. Now, of course, in life we have needs and we have wants. Our previous presenter, we have touched on some of the aspects as it relates to needs. We need a house, we need cars. But how are we going to be getting this? We're working, we're saving. But of course, sometimes we do overspend. That puts us into mental distress. We might need a shoes at the end of the month, right? Or we might want to take a vacation. Do we plan for these carefully? Do we budget our finances at the end of the month? We have to think about that. So we're able to cope, or if they're not able to be stable in their finances, they're going to be having mental health issues. And that is where we are coming in as mental health professionals to sit and talk with these persons who are disabled in the sense of having financial difficulties. Okay, so we look at those who are not able to have proper home maintenance. These retired persons are affected. They're not able to pay their bills. They have outstanding debt because, of course, some of them may not have been saving when they were working. They also may run out of money because they have to be paying the bills, they have to be buying their food and other health expenses. So we are going to be helping these elderly folks and retired folks to see how best they can curb the spending and also save on their finances. So we look at some of the causes for persons having problems with money. Job loss. When somebody loses a job, are they going to be earning? No, they're not going to be earning as they were before. So this is going to affect how they think, how they feel. It's going to affect their mental health. It's going to be affecting how they really deport themselves. Lack of education, that's another factor. And of course, in this world, we need to have good education to earn good finances at the end of our tenure. Reduction in income, separation or divorce, illness, and wow, illness can take a lot of that saving from us. Work or accidents, debt, student loans. Some persons may have student loans that they have when they start working. They have to be paying back that exorbitant amount of money to student loan. Gambling problems. Some persons may also find themselves having this gambling problem. For the gentleman who goes out at the end of the month or at the end of the fortnight, he gets his pay and goes to the room bar and goes into drinking and spends all that money drinking. When he goes home, he has nothing left. Drug addiction, those who are addicted, may find themselves spending excessive money on drugs just for them to feel good. Inappropriate use of their credit cards. And of course, some of us do overspend. And some of us are also at the hands of the persons who might do scamming and also those who do the fraud. We are also able to find ourselves in problems where that is concerned. So among the main issues identified as the determinants of some of these causes of poverty or causes of financial woes in Jamaica, we spoke about the low education attainment levels and low income earning capabilities, and that can affect our mental health. How do these affect our mental health? What are the symptoms that we might find persons having when they have financial problems? Some persons may get depressed. Some persons may be, because of financial debt, they're not able to sleep. Some persons want to lock themselves away because they don't know how to take themselves out of this financial debt. For the persons who have substance use problems, they are going to be using their funds totally on substance use, gaining that satisfaction. Some persons are also, they become unemployed. They have no investment or no opportunities. They have poor energy because they have lost all they have saved. Some of us who are affected, the mentally challenged individuals, we know most of our clients are not working, so they're going to be also having issues with money and having that lack in their mental health support. But we as mental health professionals are here to help these persons. So how do we cope when we have these problems with money? So we're going to try and budget. Yes, we're going to budget. We're going to find a financial advisor if we can afford one. We're going to make one decision at a time and create that list and work at it. Because when you plan and when you do your planning, you're going to take one at a time and work at it. Monitor your spending. Don't overspend. So, of course, the things that you don't really want, you don't have to go and buy all those. That will help to control your mental stress. Pinpoint your financial stressors. Seek the support of a financial advisor and try to obtain that to help your mental health, because that advisor will help you to make the right decisions. Implement healthy coping mechanisms into your mental fitness plan and seek support. You can get help from a coworker, a friend, a family, somebody who you know can help you out of that financial debt. And of course, we are here as mental health professionals who can help you with those symptoms that you might be having with your financial woes. Identify your financial stress and take a break from the stressful thoughts, because those stressful thoughts can lead you to thinking about suicide. So share your thoughts about your financial problems with somebody else. Take stock of your financial situation, and where money causes you stress, identify that stressor and deal with it. Try not to do poor planning, because this can cause devastation to your stress levels and your mental health. And please write down ways you and your family can reduce your expense and manage your money more efficiently. Increase your income by doing other investments. And while you're investing, you're going to be saving, because you're investing and you're making more, so you're going to save more. So that can help to control and help you with your financial problems. Pay in cash and stop taking on debt to avoid aggravating your financial problems. So I must leave with you some of the ways to deal with your financial stress. Again, prioritize your needs over wants. Say no to impulse spending. Learn to budget. That's another important thing. Learn to budget and keep track of your spending. Ask for help. So how do you manage this stress? You're going to also listen to music, relax for a while, do some yoga or meditation, practice proper time management. Those are important tips of ways to deal with your financial stress. Thank you for listening, and I hope you have learned something this afternoon. We have to manage our mental health in order to cope with all these financial stresses.
All right, we want to thank you so much, Nurse. Some very important points there, that people who have more and have less to worry about tend not to be as sympathetic or empathetic to other people's needs. And so you find, it's not surprising then that you find that it is those in need who sometimes are willing to share.
Willing to share, of course, that's true.
That's just amazing.
Yes.
And the fact that people can end up becoming mentally unstable because of the guilt feelings of having wasted opportunities, wasted money, making the mistake and end up, being scammed and so on. And so they feel guilty about it, and it gets to the point where, it affects them in more ways than we think.
It becomes a sad story for them, because, of course, when they lose all their savings and have nothing more to cushion them or rely on, it's going to be affecting their mental health in a negative way. And that is why we're here to give the support to these persons who are mentally challenged or not even mentally challenged, because even if you're not, money is everybody's problem. But we have to learn how to budget. How to manage, and how to manage.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up, the matter of budgeting and also keeping track of your spending and sticking to that budget. You end up with less stress.
Less stress.
At the end of the day.
At the end of the day.
Yes. All right. We want to thank you so much for sharing with us on this, our Back to Basics Wellness Workshop. And I see folks online, they're having a wonderful time and they're sharing. And I see Maxine saying, thank you, Nurse Williams, very deep. And I see Tamara saying, I want to learn how to better manage my money. And I guess that's why you're here with us. Stay tuned. We have more to come. We have some giveaways and lots of exciting stuff right here. Stay with us. Experienced lecturer in economics with a demonstrated history of working in the higher education industry is Dr. Andre Hun. He is skilled in starter economic research, macroeconomics, international finance and business, and econometrics. Dr. Horton is a trailblazer in his field who rose up from humble beginnings. His passion lies in research and mentorship. As such, he believes Jamaica's economy is positioned for growth and research, and that research that is tailor-made to suit the economies can be done to foster that growth. Taking us through the basics on financial literacy is Dr. Andre Horton. Thank you so much. And we say good evening and welcome, Dr. Horton. Great to have you on our workshop today.
Good evening, everyone. It's good to be here, guys. It's always good to come and speak to us Jamaicans about how we can better use economics to direct our future. Now, fundamentally, before I begin, I want us to have some appreciation for the effect of the COVID-19 pandemic, or the effect that the COVID-19 pandemic has had on the overall macroeconomy, right? We witnessed a global shutdown, and that led to severe job losses in 2020, and following was severe increase in inflation. Now, why is inflation important? Inflation is important because inflation speaks to our ability to afford goods and services, right? Our disposable income depends on inflation. So the higher inflation, the less our disposable income, meaning that the less our income that we get can afford, the lower inflation, the more our income can afford. Last year, inflation of about 10% has been the highest that Jamaica has seen over the last, say, 12, 14, 15 years. And this had a negative impact on the value of goods and services and the value that our income would afford us. And we have to take that into consideration, because the idea is that with whatever income we have, we want to be in a position to afford us the right amount of goods and services that can keep us above the poverty line, because that is basically what we want to accomplish. We want to keep ourselves above the poverty line. Now, it is important when we talk about financial literacy for us to set financial goals for ourselves. Now, what are financial goals? Financial goals are activities that are going to cost us expenses over the medium or long term that we have to plan for from today. Now, some people are sporadic spenders. Some people spend as you go. Some people spend on their dependents, and some people are savers. Now, irrespective of the type of personality that you will have short-term expenses, medium-term expenses, long-term expenses, and you have to put down something for a rainy day. Now, what I normally do with clients of mine or people who I advise is that I normally present to them a budget, a detailed budget that they must complete. And what that budget does is that budget now will show you exactly how much you spend per day, per week, per month, per annum, and how much is saved towards your financial goal. Now, if you think about it, the average individual spends the most money per day on food, right? If you think about buying a breakfast in the morning when you go to work or school, it's on average $800. You think about buying lunch, it's on average another $1,000. And you think about, let us assume that you do not buy dinner. So the most persons buy 2 meals a day. Some persons buy none, but a person like me who works on the road, I end up buying 2 meals a day. If I buy 2 meals a day for 4 weeks straight, I spend $2,000 a day, 2,000 times 20, that 20 days, assuming that on the weekends I do not buy any food, right? So 2 times 20, $40,000. That's for the month alone on day-to-day food. Now assume that I go to the super, I have to cook dinner Saturday, Sunday, and straight through the week. So my supermarket bill is 40,000, my lunch bill is 40,000. That is 80,000 right there. You following? Now, I always say to them, how can we reduce this 80,000 that we spend on lunch per day to about 40,000. And it's important that we think about these things because I myself is a culprit. And even if I don't spend 2,000 a day, I spend 1,000 and I end up giving away 1,000. And most times the money I give away, I don't count. So I give somebody $200 here, somebody $500 there. I'll buy a party for somebody, and then somebody will ask me to buy them a drink. It still counts into the 2,000. And even if today I don't give anything away, tomorrow I'll end up giving 2 people. So it still counts. So one might say that, oh, he's spending too much, but that's not me. That's the average person. Right? The average person does not watch their spending, especially how much they spend on food per day. So these are things that we have to begin to think about. And one of the reasons why we find ourselves in this position is that we do not make an effort to understand exactly what we're trying to accomplish. And what we're trying to accomplish is really minimizing our expenditures on a monthly basis. Now, what else do we waste money on? I waste money on outing. So I would take out a lady, my lady, whomever, and I'll go to a restaurant on the weekend and I end up spending $15,000 one night on a date. Now, dates are important, especially for us as men. And sometimes women don't feel appreciated if they don't go on a date where the food look a bit and the price expensive. But as human beings, whenever we're trying to accomplish goals, then we have to be vibrating on the same frequency with our partners, right? Even though that's very difficult. So I'm just saying that as theory. So the idea is that, yes, you want to bring out a lady once a week, it depends. But we have to now find clever ways how to let this money stretch, right? It's important because if we don't, then we end up spending 15,000 Friday night, 15,000 Sunday, that's 30. Next week, 30 again. So for the month, assuming you only go twice, 2 weeks for the month, you end up spending $60,000 on just a simple date, right? So the idea is this. We have to now begin to look at our incomes and begin to understand how our spending patterns and the persons who we are with fit into that income, And the idea, look at it this way. I had a girlfriend once, she wanted me to buy her a car. She wanted me to pay her bills. She wanted me to pay for her groceries every week, and so on and so forth. Which as a man, sometimes you have to pick and choose, but you still have to cover something. What exactly you want to cover? And we end up left because I only could cover certain things. And even when I told her that I'm saving to buy the car, that wasn't enough for her. She wanted it now. So the point is, as young men, we tend to find ourselves with more demands than we can afford in many instances because of the type of partners we choose many times. So this has have a significant bearing on how much we grow, right? I have a friend, he bought a girl a car. He was building on her mother's house by X amount of thousand, building block, build 2-room, whatever the case may be. And then him and the girl left and he has no savings. Meeting an accident, rainy day, cannot pay for it. Get sick, health issues, cannot go to the doctor, cannot satisfy certain requirements. So the fact of the matter is, as young people, we have to understand these things and we have to make sure that our overall budget is established and whomever comes into our life can understand that this budget is set and these are the goals we are trying to accomplish. And are you guys saying something?
Yes, I was just saying, as you talk about those who come into your lives, that would also include the children, because I remember having to have a conversation with a child to say, look, if you're expecting a stop at Pizza Hut, or if you are another fast food place after school almost every day, this is what it looks like. And when you add all this together, if you do that 5 days a week, for 1 month, you're looking at probably twice your light bill. And put it in real terms. And trust me, you know what happened at the end of that conversation? He said, okay, I take a patty and a cocoa bread. Because children, if you explain to them, they will understand.
Even patty and a cocoa bread expensive right now. Everything expensive. But I guess it's the cheaper option.
Yes.
It is the cheaper option. About 3 weeks ago, I wanted to cook some saltfish and cabbage, right? And I had all the seasoning at home, but I didn't have the saltfish, I didn't have the cabbage. And I went to the supermarket to buy the saltfish and the cabbage. And the saltfish and the cabbage came up to about $2,000. And I'm like, if I went to Juicy Beef and bought the breakfast with everything, it would have cost me $800. But because me have to buy the saltfish and the cabbage now and come home, come cook, it cost me $2,000 plus what I have in the fridge. That's just a basic example. So even sometimes when you decide that you're going to cook, if you're cooking for yourself, then it's going to cost you more than you go and buy. If you're cooking for a larger group, no problem. You have to buy the food because that money, if you're cooking for 3 people, is going to cost you 3,000. Cooking for 3 people, you buy the food, it costs you 2,000. It's cheaper. So the idea is this: we have to look at our options. And nobody's saying that we should be mean and stingy. You can't be mean and stingy. You won't be living your life. But you have to calculate the expenses. Like my daughters, when I pick them up, they always want to go to the fast food restaurant just the same, but I only take them sometimes. Because I don't want to, in Jamaica, we say broke them bad. You can't broke them bad. Yeah. So yeah, you have to, as our moderator is saying, balance the whole idea between your needs, the needs of your partner, the needs of your children, and your future goals. Because if you do not pay attention, what will happen is that you will find yourself, right, making everybody else around you happy. And when you're old, you cannot afford to take care of yourself with the meager pension that you get from your job or from the government on NIS or whosoever. So these are issues that we have to take into play. And the most important thing is for us to have a budget, and we track this budget and make sure that whatever we are trying to accomplish, it fits into our long-term financial goal.
Wonderful.
And I leave it there.
Because I wanted to ask you, what's that one takeaway that you would want everyone to leave this with this evening? But I'm not sure if that is it. But the matter of the budget.
Yeah, man, it is it, man. You need a budget and you need to watch your spending and make sure you do not overexert yourself to please anybody. Because they will leave and you will be desperate. So try your best to balance out your spending, but don't go broke trying to please the crowd. I implore you.
The crowd will not be around for long anyway.
Never.
When you start chasing your own goal. Yes. Thank you so much, Dr. Andre Horton, for sharing with us. And
thank you.
You know, I like the way you put things in practical terms so we can understand. You know, it's what going back to basics is all about, putting it in practical terms so everyone, not just others, but all of us can understand better. God bless you. Thank you so much for sharing with us. And, you know, I tell you, one of the things you have to do, and I like this presentation because you have to decide at a time, and it depends on where you are in your stage of development, your financial status. The question is it that you're going to be buying 25 blocks this week, or you're going to go for dinner 3 times or 4 times? You know, sometimes you have to make decisions like that, depending on where you are financially. Yes? So let's give it some serious thought. Thank you so much, Dr. Andre Horton. And of course, we have the driver is somewhere in his favorite cubbyhole, which is the studio here, the radio studio. And let's see if we can find out what antics he's up to on that side. Michael.
Well, we haven't left the radio studio as yet, yes. We are actually still learning. I enjoy the presentations, I also see some questions that persons are asking.
Right.
Let's go to some of those questions, Michelle.
Okay, so the first question that we have, let me see what we have here. Right, so the first question that we have, what are the best options for saving for our children's future, like for example, college and so on?
Okay. I'm not sure who will be answering the questions. I know we have our doc still on. And also, what are some tips on early retirements? What are some tips as it relates to retirement?
Okay, so the question that you asked from the public. All right, so we want to direct that to Dr. Hunton. Dr. Hunton, did you hear the question?
Yes, guys, I was listening, but I think that overall we need to speak to a financial institution. For one, in terms of a pension, most companies offer pensions. If they're paying 5%, double it and try to pay 10, and don't leave the company until the pension is vested. Vested means that you get the company's portion. Some companies do it 5 years, some companies do it 10. Don't leave until the pension is vested. Also, as it relates to your children's future, try to look at purchasing stocks and bonds. Right? Not many people explore those options. Those are long-term options that appreciate quite rapidly over time if left alone. So these are good investment instruments. And when you're purchasing bonds, you want to purchase bonds in either blue chip companies or government bonds that have little or no or minimal, minimal risk of default. There are a lot of, if a company does not offer pension, you need to, if a company doesn't offer pension, you need to go to a private pension provider, right? Like a JMMB or a Victoria Mutual or one of these private pension providers, and they will be in a position to assist you even more with those decisions. So you have to think long term. You're thinking about pension, you're thinking about your kids' future. These are long-term decisions that we have to think about.
Dr. Hunt, one of the things I learned late in life was that pension is not something that you think about when you are getting old. It's something that you need to start working on from your young years.
Yes. Pension is not something for you to get into at a late stage in life.
All right.
While I'm at it, I was listening to the presentation earlier, and over on WhatsApp, Anne Marie is saying, "Good evening, everyone. Boy, Doc, you all right? Some men, life rough for you, you know, some of the responsibilities we try to take on ourselves." But back to our question, and Doc, maybe you can help us with this one. What is the best way and also the most reliable way to pay off debt? The best way and the most reliable way to pay off debt?
Quickly. That is what you want. Quickly. You want to pay off your debt as quickly as possible. Right? Because that is basically what you want to do. You want to pay off this debt as quickly as possible. You don't want this debt to be lingering with you in any way, shape, or form. Quickly. Especially credit card debt. Don't let it linger with you. Pay it off quickly.
All right. Thank you so much.
Have another question. It says,
last one.
Yes, I believe this is the last one. What's the difference between saving and investing?
Good question. Doc?
Pardon, could you repeat the question? I didn't hear.
The difference between saving and investing.
Oh, you better know. Savings, you don't get any return. Investment is where all the return is. Investment is where.
Okay. All right. Seems we're having a little difficulty there.
Yeah, man. Investment is where you get the return. Savings, you get no return, guys, as I was explaining to you. Savings, the rate of interest is zero and negative because of the financial fee.
All right. So you look for investment opportunities and
yeah, so
reliable
savings,
ones and not.
Probably they don't understand.
Say it again?
Yeah, probably they don't understand. Savings, you don't get any interest. I always have to think about that.
Okay.
You always have to think about that. You don't get any interest with savings. So that is the key. You want to work on that.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Andre Horton. And Michael, what are we giving? We're going to be doing another giveaway before we close?
Well, I am quite interested to see how we're going to do the giveaways, because in studio with us, we have some little goodies and everything. But the time, I'm wondering if we should just take them with us. I am monitoring a chat, though. And you had asked a question earlier as it relates to your main takeaway. And I saw somebody answer that question. And I think we want to be very kind to Samantha Whitaker. By the way, for those of you who don't know, we had a little pre-show.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
And in the pre-show, we did some giveaways. So for those of you who were early to class, Samantha Whitaker says, my takeaway is to cut out unnecessary expenses.
Yes.
Samantha, send us a WhatsApp message right now. We're still here. Send us a WhatsApp message right now. And congratulations.
Right. Yeah. I'm trying to find out from my producer which one of the gifts we give to Samantha.
Well, everybody seems to be wanting that planner. You know. I don't know.
Everybody wants the planner. And so, Samantha, because you have admitted openly that you have a problem with the unnecessary spending, we're going to give you this Go for Goals financial planner by Granville D. Knight. And we hope that it will help you to, because, you know, it has all the steps in, you know, creating your budget, your monthly budget and all that good stuff. And at the end of that, it tracks your progress. So we're going to make sure that you get your hands on this. For those who want to get the financial planner, because we've seen the question pop up a few times in the chat, there's a number, 876-552-2270. That's 876-552-2270. That's the number. And let me say it one more time. 876-552, in case you're searching for your pen, 2270. Right. Setting financial goals, creating a budget, diversifying portfolio, building wealth. Go for goals. And you notice there are 4 things there. And it's go for goals. I like that. All right. All right. So we're going to be, let's see. We have another giveaway coming from Michael. Right. Okay. Go ahead, Michael.
We have one more. I saw you looking on over by our Zoom chat.
I know.
Let's go to the Zoom chat. Nothing from over there. Well, Samantha is saying thank you very much. Well, Samantha, as we said, send us a WhatsApp message, you know, to get through to us. A lot of persons have been asking as it relates to how they can get themselves, what you would call it. A lot of persons are asking how they can get themselves registered, or Facebook page or Instagram page. It has all of those links. Get yourselves registered. Powerful workshops, more coming up. That's it for us.
That's it.
All right. So, okay. All right. So, yes, I was hearing something else. I was trying to figure out what's happening. Yeah. Okay. So, question number 1. And this is for where? For the Zoom chat? All right. Someone in the Zoom chat will get this one. What are the best options for saving for our children's future? I'm sure you can answer that because something was said earlier on. Yes? Zoom chat, Michael, you can see what's happening on that side. Next question, and this one is for YouTube, all right? How can I strategize to retire early? That's the second one on YouTube, and we're looking for an answer based on what we discussed this evening. All right? Another one, do we have our Facebook, Instagram? All right. So this one will probably take a phone call for the next one, right? What is the difference between savings and investing? What is the difference between savings and investing? You're going to have to call Michael on the studio line, 963-7716 or 963-7717. All right. So do we have a winner on the Zoom chat? Michael? All right. Not sure. All right. Let's see what's happening on YouTube. What was our YouTube question? How can I strategize to retire early? Okay. No, I'm seeing answers. I'm seeing answers for the phone call. Coming up on YouTube. Remember, we're only giving away that. The YouTube answers must come to YouTube only. The ones for the phones, we should have that coming to the phones. All right, for retirement, I see 876 girl saying, oh, Michael is saying something, but is he on? Okay, all right. Okay, so let's see. Okay, all right. So 876 girl says, for retirement, we need to stay in the company until their portion of the pension is vested. And if the company pays 5%, we can match it to pay 10%. And sounds like a plan to me. So 876 girl, we will be in touch with you. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we want to thank you, because this is an amazing session. I'm here and I'm learning. You're there, you're learning. We're all learning together because we are trying to build a better future for not just for us, but for our children, for the next generation. And the way to do this, we can't be trying to do everything willy-nilly and decide that we're going to be falling for just about everything that pops up while you're on your way going. You leave for the supermarket to get one item, and by the time you pass all the shelves, you're coming out with a full basket. Now, impulse buying is something that we have to deal with, and I see where some people are saying that they have that to deal with. Yes, we have to fix that and focus on our goals. We want to thank you so much for being a part of the experience. And we are very happy that you're with us for this first one. Remember, this is only number one. We will have 3 more for the rest of the year, and we will continue even after that. So today, we focused on finances, and of course, when we meet again, there will be other areas of focus. We want to thank our producer, Shanessa Hall, our director, Brian Johnson, our camera operators, audio engineer, Christopher Sinclair. We've got Selenia James on graphics, Michael Forsyth, our chat moderator, and of course, you know, he's there carrying all the fun stuff from the studio live. And Shanessa, who doubled as our floor manager. We want to thank our financial advisor, Mr. Granville Knight, mental health nurse practitioner, Nurse Nicola Williams, and economist Dr. Andre Horton. Thank you so much for being with us, and we look forward to next time, right? I not sure what went there, but Thank you so much. I see Maxine saying thanks. I see Christine Lawrence saying start from day one. And we want to also say thanks to our sponsors, because without them, it would not look the way it is today, right? So we want to say thanks so much to sponsors, including the Ministry of Labor and Social Security, Social Pension Program, Caring for Our Elderly, the PATH Program, Advancing Your Family, Developing Jamaica, GK, the Trusted Advisor, reminding all those who registered that you have your certificate. Yes, in a little bit, we will give you more information on how you will get your certificate to indicate that you participated, you successfully participated in today's workshop. God bless you. Enjoy. Have a wonderful evening.